Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on? There he is. Oh, up. There he is right there. What's going on, Chip, man? Today is another great day in this whole ecosystem with the U.S. It's crazy, though, with XRP and this whole thing with the SEC, kind of their bipolar response, whether or not it's a security, not a security, creating this whole U.S. cryptocurrency boondoggle is what it really is. And they're just tripping over themselves, running around with sharp pencils and their shoes untied.
And knives.
That's kind of the problem.
Facing up.
Right. That's right. So they got the scissors wrong way out, running around, and not the rounded types of scissors, the sharp and pointy scissors. So, but Chip, there's a ton of things every day. There's a lot going on in this crypto space, but
yes, sir.
Over in Japan, over in I don't know, throughout Asia, in Europe, and Latin America, there's all sorts of progress being made in regulatory clarity, and it's just here in the U.S. for some reason. But we got a lot of things like that to cover today, a lot more. So, Chip, whenever you're ready to kick this thing off, I'm ready to go. If you guys out there are ready,
let's do it.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, depending on where you are coming in from the world. But I wanted to say one of the coolest bands I ever heard of was a band called Running with Scissors. I was like, you might want to just check them out because the name's cool, right?
But Jeff, let's do Greasy Feces.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. It got strange all of a sudden. Interesting how it got really weird. I thought we should start off by, typical stuff, diving headfirst into the shallow end for maximum impact. And Jeff, something you teased in the open about Japan and Asia, they just really seem to get it. Okay. They really seem to get it. And of course, nobody other than Kitao, who runs the SBI Group. And SBI Group launches a crypto asset fund for Japanese investors. It's consists of 7 cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, and Polkadot. None exceeding more than 20% in ratio. So that's a pretty... So Tokyo's biggest FinServ group, the SBI Group, will now allow general Japanese investors to purchase cryptocurrencies via its newly launched crypto fund. And the crypto asset fund will be traded and operated by the SBI Alternative Fund, established on December 2nd, dedicated capital of 5 million yen. It's approximately $45,000 at the time of writing. However, the company may choose to release a cap in smaller breakups of 1 million yen each. And they are right there.
Look at what do you think of this collection of assets? Let's go kind of right to left, going in with Polkadot.
I like Polkadot a lot. I mean, a big Polkadot, Chainlink, Litecoin to me still doesn't. I don't know. It's probably and even Bitcoin Cash. As far as the utility is concerned, if Bitcoin's the store of value, what is Bitcoin Cash? It's a different color on slanted left. The other one's slanted right.
It's almost exactly the same thing, but green.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really weird.
But is it really the same thing? Doesn't have the same value.
Yeah, the Litecoin's an odd choice to me. I don't know. I get Ethereum, I get Bitcoin, obviously XRP, Polkadot, and Chainlink. I don't know. Litecoin's like odd. And I'll also say
still a big question mark.
And Bitcoin Cash too. I mean, it was just a fork of Bitcoin, and it's shocking that it's done pretty well, all things considered.
Well, it's with some of these bigger projects too. You'd think that if it was kind of an off project like that it wouldn't be picked up by a group like this, that it might be more, on the periphery, but there it is. Same thing with Litecoin, but I still believe that Litecoin has that first mover, kind of first market mover advantage. And, it's still one of the big assets that people are talking about, and it's maintained value.
It has, but what's its utility, Jeff? Explain its utility to me.
It's the silver to Bitcoin's gold.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Polkadot, you talk about utility. There's a lot of utility up there, and I'm not really great versed at reading Japanese, Jeff, but I just like at Bitcoin. It's got 3 smiley faces and an upside down, like a cyclops smiley face, a couple smiley faces, and XRP is just XRP. There's no
That's
translation.
interesting. That's a very interesting one. I wonder about that. Is there anybody from Japan out there listening right now or is tuning in? Why is it that they write out the name of every other asset in Japanese, but then you get to XRP and it's just XRP? Now, you
And
would think that if you don't read English and you're over in Japan and you see that, and maybe you don't know maybe you know English letters, maybe you don't. I mean, we're looking at Japanese, and I don't know the Japanese letters. But
well, it's kind of, is it phonetical? Is it the phonetic spelling of it, or is it a different name? It's like, like in Spanish, you call Germany, I think it's Alemany or something like that, or something along those
Oh, yeah.
lines. And
Yep.
then, we call it Germany, they call it Deutschland, so there's different names for countries in a native language. I'm wondering, is it something where it's just the phonetic spelling? But it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever the equivalent of it is, and they even get the color, the pink, the this, you get the blue, XRP. So they did a good job there. And
good, yeah.
according to
Maybe that's
official,
it right there. What's that? What's in
according to,
parentheses?
I don't know what the parentheses is. It's Japanese. Since it's not suitable for all customers, can only be purchased by customers who meet certain standards set by our company. So those are probably like accredited investors. According to official statement, investors are required to go through an application process, includes an anonymous partnership agreement with SBI Alternative Fund prior purchases. What is that all about? The company's reasoning behind this move is because it's not suitable for all customers. In addition, the crypto investments made by such anonymous associations will be handled by SBI VC Trade, a sister firm. But I mean, anyway, the bottom line is also there's an age limit. You got to be between 20 and 70 for the fund. It'll enforce a 3-month, because if you're 71, you're out, Jeff.
Forget about it. If you're 19, forget about it.
19, you're out. Anywhere between 20 and 70. Wasn't there a Christmas song from ages 1 to 92? That's what Christmas song is that?
Asking the wrong person.
Yeah, Crypto Eddie would have to, she'd have to decode that. That's for sure.
SBI has stated that the fund cannot be canceled within 1 year. So between February 1 of 22 and January 31 of 23, investors will also be subject to unrealized capital gains tax. Wait a minute.
What the hell's going on? This is looking horrible now, Jeff.
What are we reading? What happened here? Everything started out really nice.
Wait a minute. What is this? Janet Yellen? Is she like the czar over there of like taxes as well? Jeff, what the heck is going on?
Maybe we need to go back and read the Japanese. Maybe read the fine print. The fine print. This is yeah. So it's Janet Yellen and Elizabeth Warren's dream child.
Yeah, dream child. I don't know. There's something weird. It's like, wait, there's unrealized capital gains. We got to dig deep on this one.
What's going on here?
There's an age limit. You got to be an accredited investor. There's a lot going on. Okay, so I don't know.
You have to be an accredited investor and pay your unrealized taxes.
Well, you have to apply, and I don't. So if you're anonymous, why are you paying anything? If there's no, if it's anonymous agreement, it's like, hey, it's anonymous. Nobody knows. It's me. Nobody possibly could know.
You're doing pretty damn well at 20 if you can be an accredited investor.
Yeah, right.
20.
Yeah, that's very cool, right? But look, there is. It's like, this is awesome, Jeff. But I mean, there are some things, and this is a great name to have too. So, in addition to contributing to Japan's crypto adoption, SBI continues to spread its reach in other jurisdictions. Most recently, the company invested in Singaporean crypto exchange named Cornhako. Cornhako is like that person, like, in school. It was like, hey, who's eating the paste? Cornhako. It was like when you're, it's like, hey, who's not in class yet? Cornhako, right? Cornhako, it's probably pronounced anyway.
Yeah, they received coin.
Well, coin's in the name, so that's always a cool thing too. Heiko plans to expand our business to other countries in Southeast Asia by using SBI's fund infusion, its pre-existing network as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I want to put this on here, Jeff. It's an important tweet, right? Look at this important message right here. Steve Higgins Sr. says, loving your music, Chip. Going to buy your album. From musician, singer, and songwriter. Encourage OTC folks to take a listen before it hits big. Well, that's probably not going to happen, but that's great, Steve Higgins Sr. I appreciate that. And he says, the bomb, Jeff is just good looking. So there you go. See, Jeff, you got a little accolade too. You got double accolades with Steve Higgins. I love that. No, I'm proud of the album. I would, it's all original music. It's a time where I poured all my heart and soul into it. And I can't wait for Moon, because that's all I'm going to be doing is be recording. a lot of recording. There's a couple different genres I want to tackle. And this is more, I guess, singer-songwriter, a little bit of alternative, maybe rock flair, because that's just my bag. But yeah, I would love you guys. If you got the link is in the description, go click it on it. You can listen to it for free. You can listen to all the songs, lyrics, all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, it's one of the things I love to do. I love music. I love writing. I don't like playing so much.
By the way, Mississippi is watching.
MISSISSIPPI. That was like one of the words you could spell when you're a kid. All of Mississippi's watching, Jeff. It's huge.
Including Keith.
Fantastic. I mean, my gosh, what could be better than that? And a lemon tree. Oh, lemon. Oh,
lemon coin NFTs.
Look at this.
You know what?
BZ, I'm liking what you're laying down there, BZ.
Dude, we can call them lemon.
And that is
drop.
not funny. I mean, Comedy Channel's expecting it to be funny, but hell, that makes a lot of sense right there. I'll be honest.
The lemon drop NFTs. Got the whole lemon coin.
Lemon
series.
coin. That's yeah.
Then we get the lemon drops. There we go.
I'm liking the sound of that, my man.
It is good.
I am loving the sound of that. I wanted to throw this one up here, Jeff. This one here again. We've there's been so much going on with SEC stuff, but what I'm really proud about is the entire crypto Twitter, but more specifically the XRP army. People like Digital Asset Investor, Tag, TIG. There's so many people uncovering stuff. Obviously, John Deaton, just a slew of people out there. JV's one as well, who's uncovering stuff. Actually, part of
JV's put up some great stuff, Chip.
JV's been crushing it lately,
man,
putting some good stuff. Hey, and we're going to feature a tweet of his tonight too, because he's doing cool stuff.
Did you pull that tweet from the SEC? The previous previous court case?
No. Well, I want to lead into it with this first, because I think this is like a little bit of a lead in. Is that what you pulled though? No. I pulled my tweet where I showcase a video of Jay Clayton. Well, let's just watch it.
I'm talking about JV.
I pulled a tweet from JV. Yeah, the one that I wanted to feature up there. Yeah, the one.
Which one was it?
Well, I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to give it away. I'm saying here. Otherwise, we can just get on his Twitter feed. We can read them all now.
I don't even know what it is. Everybody go out there and look and see if you can.
No, don't worry. I know what it is. I have it. I will pull it up at the appropriate time.
No, go ahead. Pull up the one that we're going to start with.
So I want to start with this right here, because this right here, David here, I'll pull this up a little bit, but let's just listen to this clip here. Hopefully you guys can hear this.
Cryptocurrencies, you've said they are not securities. Is that right? I mean, like Bitcoin.
Well, just because you call something a cryptocurrency doesn't mean it's not a security.
Oh.
We've seen a lot of things that people call a cryptocurrency that are in fact securities. But you referenced one, Bitcoin, which we have looked at and is not a security.
So the average
looked at and is not a security. Is not a security.
Jeff, that's like 50 times you just said it's not a security. Yes or no?
And and if you go to what he said right before that, he said we have looked at it.
Good point, Jeff.
We have said that they're not securities. He doesn't reference does not my opinion. Listen to it again.
What's this good?
A cryptocurrency that are in fact securities. But you referenced one, Bitcoin, which we have looked at and is not a security.
So the average
that was pretty straightforward right there.
You've said they are.
We have looked at.
That's right. Look at that. So you reference one.
Is he speaking in the third person now? Or in
right there? Jay Clayton.
The we in the plural. Is Jay Clayton now plurality?
I should have wrote out exactly how he said it. It is not a security. But I just put it's not a security. So I also want to give a big shout out to XRP Tokens, who brought this to our attention. So huge shout out to XRP, and this goes by Daz, but he's the one that found it. Great work. Again, this was now the whole clip too. If you wanted to watch the entire clip, if you go look at this tweet, you can see it right there. This is from May 2008. So basically going back 3 years, he went ahead and said
2018.
2018. It's got clarity. We determined. We're right, Jeff. We determined that it's not a security. And then do they realize this is the greatest thing about not only life, but I mean, if you said something, in the 1700s and someone said, we had everybody there and we all were listening and you said this, and be like, oh, no, I didn't. I said this. There's no recording. somebody could have said, well, I wrote exactly what you said, but we have video, Jeff. In 2021, we have the videos, we have the text, we have the audio recordings, we have it all, Jeff.
Video proof. So
awesome.
here, yeah, Chip, there was one that JV had posted earlier. It was the SEC's, it kind of goes back a couple years to another court case with Madoff. Is that the one you're referencing? If not, we'll play that one after. We'll play that one later.
No, I was referencing. I gotta even see what I was referencing. My gosh, there's so many things in the keep these days. Hang on a second. Which one are you gonna pull up next, Jeff?
So this one has to do with, this was JV had posted a tweet earlier. It was Harry Markopolos tried to tip off the SEC about the Madoff situation.
Yeah, it was like 9 years.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting to see how that all unfolded.
No, that's a different
because all right, and it's what's interesting about it, I think, is that as we start looking at the SEC in one specific situation, there's obviously reference and previous situations that have come up with the SEC, and I just find it interesting to draw kind of parallel. Although in this case, obviously the Madoff scandal was went on for a little while, and there was a huge amount of money lost and people cheated as a direct result. But it was kind of how the SEC handled it.
Yeah.
And some of the statement that came out and some of the people that were trying to tip them off, what happened to those individuals over the whole Madoff thing.
Well, they tried to break them. They tried to break them.
Right.
And there's a whole book about this account where you can just see it's always the same thing, Jeff. It's always depending on your stature and depending on who you are, you get a free pass. That's it.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you hear somebody has COVID? Did you hear this?
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Senator Karen, but it's mild. See, that's how they say it. They go like, well, it's just mild, Jeff.
Senator Pocahontas.
Double and boosted.
Yep. Hey, big shout out to James Rule XRP. A little XRP makes the world a better place.
Damn right it does. Thank you for that, James Rule.
XRP. So Chip, here it is right here. Let me play this. I don't think there's an issue with playing this.
Is that Markopolos speaking though? I'm not sure that's him speaking though. See, I wasn't 100%.
Yeah,
I wasn't
100%
convinced
sure.
it's him.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. May or may not be.
SEC was covering up for Madoff. The media spins that and says that they were just dumb or that he's saying they were fools. No, I watched the testimony. He's saying they're involved, and now they've declared national security. What's that sound like to you, Bob Chapman, the international forecaster?
Giant cover-up. Same old, same old. The last guy in there, he was bad. This one's just as bad. And, we're just not going to get to the bottom of anything. It's like Congress, the ones who aren't compromised are bought off, and you got about 50 guys and gals in there who do the right thing, and that's it. And we just have no place to go. It is the way I said it was several weeks ago, and there's a whole bunch of people involved, and nothing's going to come out. It is one of the great, and the figure's not 50, it's 100 billion.
Oh, and now they've indicted him. So we know what the
I don't know. I mean, Chip, stuff like that, it seems to, there's the orchestration of things going on kind of behind the scenes, and this idea that people are just concerned about how the SEC handles things.
Yeah. And also I know I've spoken to a high profile attorney who was involved in that case. And it's just remarkable to see how it unfolds and what actually ends up happening. It's again, it sort of seems like no matter what, and this isn't just in the United States. This is basically a global phenomenon where you get to a certain level and it's like, well, let's just let it go. And that's kind of what happens. It doesn't always get the same treatment. And, you've seen this, everyone's seen this in their own home country. You've seen, well, the Citizen does that, and all of a sudden, wow, it's a big deal, and they drag them out and they put them in court. But you see, Jeff, I mean, you spent a lot of time on this in your show yesterday morning, where you talked heavily about how these banks are getting fined left and right. And they're like, well, the win is better than the loss. So it's like you get a little bit of a fine, slap on the wrist, and what happens? You move on. It's like, but you pocket the rest of it. So you pay like 3% fine. You keep the other 97%. And to this whole idea of too big to fail, sort of, it just continues, right? I mean, that's kind of what it looks like. So
too big to fail, and then they give it a major pass. So and that was the comparison yesterday. Is here we have Gensler and a number of the others, obviously Clayton too. They've obviously come out with this enforcement tactic, and trying to lump cryptocurrency and paint a completely unfair picture of what crypto is, and that's where they keep focusing on this whole nefarious purposes, and it's used for, the transfer of illicit goods, et cetera, et cetera. And here we have, at the same year, same period of time, while they're saying all of this and calling for digital asset companies to come in and the concern over stablecoin, et cetera, and all these fines with these banks for doing, things that could be considered a lot worse. Deutsche Bank got caught up considerably with the transfers of money and in complete breach. This was about a year or so ago of AML guidelines. And now each one of them are being fined because of their lax AML guidelines. And that's all anti-money laundering. Some of it was
used
also
for money laundering.
KYC. Yeah, money laundering and fraud. So, I mean, that's just crazy stuff. So hey, Silverback Gorilla saying, hey, Chip and Jeff, XRP will moon in 22. Let's go.
That's a scary profile picture, man. I gotta jump back a little bit. Whoa,
that was a little scary.
Looked a little bit like
so scary when it was small.
It looked like that Chucky. I was like, well, Jeff, this video here, I think we should play. We talked about it the pregame warm up, but this one has been viewed 3.8 million times, and there's a reason for it, because if your name is Brian Brooks and you're touted as the expert, this is from some of the greatest hits. Let's see if let's throw this up here. This is just, again, you really see how this guy's playing on a completely different level. Where is the audio? Tell me if it's loud enough, Jeff.
Mr. Brooks, let's step back from digital assets and blockchain for a moment. Let's talk about
Might be a little weak.
Where the internet.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know why people post stuff on the internet that just the sound volume's messed up. Apparently, they don't ever check the sound volume on it, which is sad, but it's kind of the way it works, Jeff. Might be able to try to. If it's weak, I don't want people straining their ears trying to hear it, So let's do this. All right. Let's see if I can pull.
Yeah, while you're doing that, JV was saying, hey, there's some other good videos along that line. And so actually I'm pulling this up, and this was, I don't know the exact year of this one, but 2000, that's right in front of me. I don't know the year of it, Chip. It only says it right there. 2017 financial services spending. So this was Rep Bill Posey, 8th District, Florida, Melbourne, Vero Beach area. And this was interesting. So let me just play this here.
Instead of forcing agendas on companies, the SEC should be focused on protecting investors, maintaining fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitating capital formation. The SEC let Bernard Madoff run free for 10 years, a decade, while he evaporated $70 billion worth of people's life savings and hard-earned money. They were asleep at the switch. They were busy doing something else like this. Their job is to protect investors, and that's the intent of this amendment. I urge my colleagues to support the interest.
Chip, there's so this is
put that back for a second, Jeff.
Right.
Let's put this back here for a second. I want to show you where this guy's from. This is Bill Posey. He's from Florida, 8th District. That's Titusville, Melbourne, and Vero Beach. Vero Beach is stone's throw from where I live. So yeah, Posey nails it. He's right, 10 years. And they had a whistleblower basically saying, look, this guy, and they just let it ride.
Yeah, forget
$80 billion of people's hard-earned money.
Not a big deal.
Jeff.
They only ignored it for 10 years. Not that big of a deal. And then here's another one. So there's actually, quite here's one. This was, let's see. Let me pull this one up. So this is Mark Cuban, and JV says, like Mark Cuban said, burn the entire SEC down and start over. They're too arrogant, incompetent, and useless when it comes to enforcements and guidance. They do more harm to investors than good. And so this one, let me pull this one up real quick.
Is buying transcripts of current SEC trials just so I can read them. Because am I anecdotal and it's fun, I seriously do. The sense I get is it's just arrogance. Mary Shapiro doesn't give a right? I mean, look, it's not like she's saying, here we go, here's the strategy, here's the steps we're taking to make the markets more efficient, capital formation better, more trust in the markets. There's none of that. When you get accused of this, it isn't just about the money. It isn't just a fight. It's about your family, trying to explain to your kids. I mean, literally, when I stood up knowing that the jury was going to deliberate, I had to go through my mind, what if I lose? What am I going to tell my kids? What am I going to tell the people I work with? What's going to happen? During those 8 years when I was fighting it, waking up in the middle of the night, sending emails, doing searches, looking for things, trying to, find more information, it just consumes you when the government is fighting you unjustly. There's no point in SEC enforcement. If the biggest IPO in the history, you can't say no to.
Wait. Can I push back on you then, Mark? Sure. I mean, you bought into this thing.
Oh, yeah,
you're supporting it as well. I mean, you're saying the SEC should have turned it away, and yet you are there as a shareholder giving your money to Alibaba and Jack Ma.
Because I think the SEC is worthless in the first place, right, when it comes to enforcement. Seriously, that's my perspective. So I do it because I don't trust the uncertainties, and I don't trust that the SEC is taking the right steps.
You come to this agency, treat it like a business. What would you do?
You'd have to burn it down and start from the beginning.
Is there nothing salvageable about the SEC?
I'm not saying it's not salvageable.
I'd say in a perfect world, that's a good idea. I just don't think it's possible.
Well, what you could do is
erase the SEC.
No, but what you could.
And the SEC.
So there you go.
Yeah. But he fought 8 years and he won. He kicked their ass. I love it. And Cuban, this is the thing about Cuban. He's a fighter. He's a fighter, man.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thread, JV had posted a whole bunch of, great points here. And, there's another one. Congress holding the SEC accountable back in the day. Let's see. No mercy. He tweets out DAI, Backup Bradley, John Deaton. Why isn't this going on these days? There's a lot of facts, timelines, documents, etc. So let me pull this last one up and then we'll get to some of the other stuff that we have going on. But hang on. There we go. So this goes back. So we're going to hear from Gary Ackerman, New York 5th District. Not sure exactly what year this is. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So here.
We want to know specifically. I don't know what your general purpose in life is. I don't need you to come here to tell me that you hate fraud. Hate when that happens, don't you? But you're supposed to find it out before it happens.
In enforcement, obviously, we can't, and I understand that concern. In enforcement, last year we brought 670 some odd cases. In the past 2 years, we brought 70 cases involving Ponzi schemes. In those 70 cases,
listen, I'm sure you have medals and ribbons and stuff like that, and congratulations on all the good stuff that you've done. I don't want to belittle any of that. But this is huge. How do you miss that? And we know that there are mini Madoffs out there. They're starting to surface. You missed all of those too. But this one you were pointed at, and Mr. Markopolos says he's going to give you another one tomorrow. He's not even giving it to you. He's giving it out to someone else because nobody has confidence in you guys anymore. Maybe the general counsel, Mr. Vollmer. I believe you were the one who thought that your people didn't have to testify here today. I don't know where you got that, but some of us think otherwise. Maybe you could tell us how did they miss all this?
We're as committed as each of you.
That's not the question. You give you credit for being committed.
Perhaps you could let me answer.
Perhaps you can try to answer.
Beautiful.
And what we're asking.
No, we're asking. You have to tell us things. You're forgetting what this procedure is. You're not coming here to ask. We're asking you. How did you screw up?
General's process work. It's a process Congress set up to identify the facts that we all need to make these judgments. Let's let the system work that Congress created. There will be some recommendations. There will be time for this committee to look at the facts and to think of the recommendations themselves.
Oh, God.
Tell us the people who've lost their whole lives that they have time.
In this matter.
People don't have time. We need you to tell us something instead of lecturing us, Mr. Vollmer.
Law enforcement process.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, so
I mean-
so a little bit of color on this. So Gary Ackerman, who was he was formerly in Congress serving New York. He was between 1983 and 2013. He retired, and I pulled up this article while we were watching that. You got to look at that, and you got to just say how times have changed and how crazy they went over that. And there's somebody who was doing the right thing. SEC useless, worthless, can't find your backside with two hands. That was published. This was published back in 2009. So that's when it happened. Not sure they paid much attention, but since Bernie Madoff's phony $50 billion hedge fund was exposed, some members of the U.S. House Finance Committee are pretty steamed at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Enforcement Chief Linda Chapman Thompson, who he was drilling in the beginning, and then Acting Counsel Andrew Volmar, who was also in there. And economy's in crisis. We thought the enemy was Mr. Madoff. I think it's you, Ackerman said to Volmer. Your value is to us is useless. Your value to the American people is worthless. Your contribution to the proceeding is zero. Jeff, we don't even have politicians that sound like that anymore, do we?
Oh my God.
Let alone D's. I mean, we don't usually get too many D's in there.
Man, I don't know what's happened to them. They're so, lackluster. And you get some and they talk and they sound like they're tough, but nothing like that. I mean,
dude,
this
ripped.
is just, that's classic.
But he's right, though. I mean, because you got to remember that, Congressman Ackerman, a lot of the people that lost their entire world, millions of dollars, everything they had. I mean, there's so many suicides after that. So many people fell in despair. He's representing the people who lost, and he's like, they don't have time. Their lives are ruined. Their life savings gone. So, and again, what did the SEC do? Nothing. As you brought up before, Jeff, 9 years, I think it was, of tipping them off, saying, hey, there's a problem. There's a problem. There's a problem. They're like, nobody knows anything. It's kind of like, Jeff, when you're the FBI and you lose all of the DVDs from a particular another high profile trial, which I'll be very careful. But there's another profile I just saw today. They're like, well, they lost all the CDs and DVDs. Nobody knows anything.
Whoops.
Oops.
Yeah, whoops. Sorry.
Oh, nobody knows. It just kind of disappears, Jeff. Nobody
all
knows
that data. We don't know what happened to it. It got lost. I like James is saying the double talk from the SEC is getting old, and it just seems it's over and over and over and over again. And really the culprit, you can't really single out the SEC, because at the end of the day, the biggest culprit for roundabout doublespeak is big government. That's it. If you have government hired employees that really can't be fired, then you have a major problem, right? And these are not elected individuals either. They're appointed. And then you have people that are working for them, and do they really care? Are these people really super passionate about getting the job done? Or are they just going about their day, focused on, their narrowly focused, kind of zoomed in workload, whatever it may or may not be, and they don't have a passion for caring. That I think that could be the end of the day. I'm not demeaning anyone that is out there that works for government. But if you take that same person and you put them into a private industry, the chances that they'll survive are probably less than 50%.
Yeah.
Most of those individuals that are working for government that are in positions where they can't be fired will probably be fired, within a short period of time in private industry, and they would be eaten up, and spit out before they knew what was happening. And I think, overall, government, when that kind of, institution kind of attracts, a specific type of individual, where they don't care. No, I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying that there's individuals within that position, and the ones that get appointed, those guys are there. They don't care about stuff like this. That I don't know. It just seems to be, very reminiscent that we have to keep going back over, certain scenarios like this over and over again over the years,
Well, this is what we're finding, Jeff, is there's just a pattern of this stuff. It's not anything, but I got to tell you, it's when you say like a pattern, you say, well, that's coincidental. Well, that's coincidental, but you see more and more. And it's like one of the people, you got to give a lot of respect to Mark Cuban, because for 8 years, he thought if he loses to the SEC, he was like, what does he tell his kids? It's like, well, yeah, everything I fought for my entire life was evaporated because of government overreach. And
there you go.
The best thing was he lost that case. But I look at other things too, and some things that make you go like, kind of like make you feel a little bit weird. But I looked at this tweet here and I just didn't understand it, Jeff. It's like, so this one right here, it's put out by Ripple, and they're like, look, if you're looking for cringeworthy content this weekend, stop scrolling. Our Blockstars podcast with host Joel Katz dives into some of the most innovative blockchain topics with industry leaders. Oh, Jeff, what the, I mean, cringeworthy? What the, I mean, why would they say that, Jeff? If you're looking for cringeworthy content this weekend, stop scrolling. No, man, I'm not looking. I'm looking for awesome content.
Yeah, we weren't looking for it. So yeah.
I mean,
so
why
that's
would, I mean, why would
basically,
you do that?
if you're looking for cringeworthy, why don't you stop and look for something of value?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you're looking for something of value, then Blockstars podcast is where you want to go.
I mean, that's horrible. I mean,
tune in to the Blockstars.
That's David Schwartz. Why would they say something? I mean, it would be crazy if it were true, but of course it's not true. It actually said binge-worthy.
Was it cringeworthy?
No, it said binge-worthy, Jeff. I just thought it'd be
you SOB.
I thought it'd be fun to just change it, just for fun.
Too funny.
Yeah. See, it was binge-worthy, and I changed the cringe-worthy. Just having a little bit of fun.
I probably should have looked at everything in the keep before.
Yeah, just having a little bit of fun there. Yeah, I was like, why would they do that in the first place? But it's fun to think about.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's a fun little joke.
Funny.
It's what we call
very
a prank,
funny.
Jeff. I pranked you pretty good. So,
Sean is saying, hey, could you imagine the POTUS saying, these are my personal views and don't represent the government? Someone at the SEC needs to give the SEC views and not their own. And that's
well, nobody invites you to,
especially when they say we.
Right. We did this, we did that, and then that thing over my background there, that's not the SEC logo massively in the background. No, I'm not sitting in the SEC official government office paid for by the taxpayers. No, Jeff. No, it's not. It's a personal opinion. Listen, nobody invites you to a conference because they care about your personal opinion. Is anybody inviting somebody that's like, hey, I'm curious what your personal opinion is, not representing the SEC? So this is where all this double speak, and they're always CYA, you know what that stands for, cover your ass, right? They're always doing this kind of stuff because they can, and nobody's calling them on it. Pretty sad, but it's sad but true, Jeff. I got to tell you.
That's it. Hey, just real quick here before you say anything else.
Come on, man. Berserker.
Berserker, baby. Also, too, guys, so coming up, I wanted to throw this in there because I want to make sure that everybody's aware of this. Look at this right there. Is Vagabond. They are going to be on the show. We're going to have Dr. Thomas Riegler along with Naveed Kiani Larajani. He's going to be on the show. And what we're going to be talking about is important stuff. I know everybody had questions about the airdrop. That's not what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be drilling into this really deep and finding out more about the project and this blockchain access to everyone. So what I'm going to do is drop this in the chat right here, because what I'd like people to do is go ahead, because a lot of people say I didn't get the reminder right there. If you click here, it'll say set reminder. If you see that right there, set reminder, and you click it, and then it's reminder. And then when you do that, you put the reminder on. That way, you will get the alert. So this is for 47 hours from now. But anyway, you'll forget about it. You're like, what? So
and
anyway,
then there's another one for Wednesday. So Vagabond is big though, Chip. I'm looking forward to this one. I think this conversation we're gonna have with these two guys, with Thomas and Naveed, be huge.
It's going to be huge, and it's a cool project too. And it's again, dealing with business apps and sort of making sort of blockchain as a service available, and being able to spin stuff up, doing all the things you don't have to worry about as far as you want to build something on Vagabond. So I think this is going to be a really important project to watch. Vagabond or Vagabond? Oh yeah, thank you for that. I that was a quick one. That's Vagabond. I got to fix that in the title. Thank you for that, Connie.
That
It is
looks
Vagabond.
like Vagabond.
Looks like Vagabond. I'm gonna have to fix that, Jeff. I'm gonna do that while we're doing the show. I'm gonna get that up there. So
all right, that's good.
Horribly embarrassing. That's when you're typing stuff fast, and stuff happens like that. It'll happen sometimes, Jeff.
It's a good thing that we have our.
It's a good thing we have the correct
our editorial review live.
Right, and it's like we have we have none
do it.
other than Connie, who's on the case. She's like, she's the official spell checker of the of the OTC right there. Look at them making it happen right now as we speak.
And
this
then
is
Hans
great.
also brought that up
Vagabond
right there. Boom.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate that, man. Gosh, how do you do stuff like that? And I sent it to him like, don't worry, we spelled your name wrong. It doesn't matter. It's spelled right.
Yeah, no.
Don't worry about that. It's cool. Everything's cool. Humans make mistakes.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, Vagabond. I mean, come on, Jeff. Who the hell?
Vagabond.
Punking myself now. This
almost sounds exactly the same.
This
Is that
horrible
real?
now.
You just Chip is just playing with everyone, seeing if
No,
they
man,
pick
that
up
was
on-
real. That's sad, but very true. It was real.
I
So
saw
I'm gonna
that
go
one.
ahead and I'm gonna.
So that's awesome.
The funny thing was, I even spelled it right on the title of the image.
That's good.
Let's do
XRP
this.
for me that he thought it's another Vag token.
Oh, come on, people. Gosh almighty, come on now.
So all right, so that's Tuesday with Vagabond. That's going to be really cool. And then Wednesday, we are going to have none other than John E. Deaton. So we got John Deaton with us on Wednesday, and Wednesday, December 22nd, just happens to be the 1-year anniversary of the SEC v. Ripple case. So as we get into that, why not celebrate this 1-year anniversary with all of the stuff that's been going on by bringing John Deaton on, getting into, some more of his thoughts and opinion, and also digging a little bit deeper into what's been going on with the Ripple, or I should say the XRP community suit against the SEC. So a lot to uncover. We're going to have a couple, guests come on with us that are going to come in and out, ask some questions. We got some of the on the chain members that'll come in and ask some questions. We have a couple other YouTubers
Special
that are going to
guests.
come in, special guests that'll come on and ask a couple questions. So it'll be a really interesting night Wednesday. We've never brought people on and off throughout the evening. So Chip, that's going to be an orchestration where people come in, ask their question, and then we'll take them out and let John answer the question, and that way we can keep the flow going. Because otherwise,
exactly.
if we bring somebody in and leave them there, we might not ever let them out. So
And there it is, just like that, fixed. Vagabond. Thank you for that, Connie. and
Vagabond.
Hans and everybody. Yeah, thank you very
Nice.
much. Appreciate that.
Nice.
Appreciate
I like
it. Yeah, it's good, right?
that. JV is saying we should have a ruling on those SEC documents.
Yeah, we
by
should.
the time Deaton comes on.
Yeah, the deliberate process privilege. We should
Be
have a
good.
ruling on that by Wednesday.
Yep.
I don't know. I think the SEC is really regretting doing this, and people give a lot of. They've been really hassling, like, well, Jay Clayton this, Jay Clayton that. Listen, Gary Gensler's his own man. He came in, and he's Mr. Enforcer. We're going to enforce it. We're going to be enforcer. Of course, we're going to use our enforcement rights. That's what he said. So
Right.
he didn't stop it. He didn't say, "Hey, let's do a settlement. Let's figure this out."
Enforcer.
Nah, man. He was right there, right? I mean, right on schedule.
That's right. So Chip,
I did.
Joel
I already
is
watched
saying,
it. Come on, Joel. I mean,
Please watch Aries Vagabond.
Thanks, Joel.
interview.
Appreciate that. Tell us something we don't know. Of course, I wouldn't. Why would I? Would I not watch the interview? Of course, I would.
Actually, I want to
everything
cover. No,
Crypto already does. Everything Crypto already does. I do.
I would like to cover what she did
If
verbatim.
you watch our interviews, they're different just by its own nature, and
we might not even talk about their project.
We might not. We might talk about what
we
they
might
did
just
when
talk
they
about-
favorite foods. We might talk about. We've done that in the past too.
Same thing. What did you guys have for dinner tonight?
Jeff, for dinner.
What
Let's talk
is-
about things that are
What
important.
is your favorite beverage?
I like to laugh a little bit too. I like to keep it a little bit light.
So Steve Higgins is saying personal gain index, U.S. Congress, Ballotpedia. Check this out. Oh my God, just the facts. Says Judge Judy. I ain't learning Chinese. If I do, it will be to save its citizens. There you go.
You gotta like that, Jeff.
I gotta love it.
You gotta like it, love it, like it, love it, love it, like it. But there's I should probably drop the Deaton one there too. Let me drop that one because that's going to be another stellar night. Just fantastic. Again, this is probably, we're going out 2021, heading into 2022, and I think we're up to 262 podcasts. We started it on January 1st, and then we'll start with season 2, which will be upcoming. And go ahead, let me drop this in while we're talking about it, Jeff. But I want everybody to go ahead and set your reminder for this one too. This is the John Deaton interview here. And again, this is going to be interesting because we're going to have a lot of people from the community. Again, it's an Ask Me Anything with John Deaton. I will share it on my screen so you guys can see it as well. But there it is. Ask Me Anything. And again, if you click on this right here in the bottom left corner, if you go in there and you click that link, you click the reminder. Now the reminder's on. Now I will be sure to get a little bit of a notification once that happens. So very cool. Well, very cool indeed. And yeah, so I wanted to get into this. So this is kind of cool. Another, again, JV's on fire. Really just a stellar community member. OTC family member, the whole nine, but I'll throw this one up here. So JV said, hey, Rosie Rios, you should go do an interview with On the Chain with Chip and Jeff. Also, Tony from Thinking Crypto. We'd love to hear from you. It's awesome, man. It's always great. It's
right,
and it's
Tony,
nice.
when are you coming on?
Yeah, and that Patrick Bet David interview that happened this past week with none other than John Deaton came about because people in the community. I know XRP Army, Scott from XRP Army was very instrumental in saying, hey, for my birthday wish, I want to see this interview happen. Then everybody else piled in. So coming from the community is good. I said, thank you, Jay. We'd love to have a chat with Rosie Rios on the podcast. Rosie, if that works for you, please reach out to me via DM. We can get it scheduled. Looking forward to hearing from you. So far, nothing.
Boom. And she liked it.
Did she like it? No, she didn't like it yet.
I don't know. There was one like.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think it was probably Jay. I don't know who it was. It was probably Jay. Who knows who it was? But let's see what the comments were on this one.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, you know who? So there was a lot of likes on that. So if you click on that, I guess we can see that. See if Rosie is in there anywhere. I can just do a find. Rosie, and no, she did not like it.
Come on, Rosie.
No, she didn't like it. There's a lot of good people from the community that liked it, though. Tony liked it, though.
Tony.
That's cool. Tony liked it. That's awesome.
That's what we need to get Tony on the show.
Tony was great on the show. I always love when he comes on here. Here's another one. Here's another one right there.
And before you bring that up, XRP Speedboat, appreciate you. You have to work. Well, you have to work Wednesday night. Please have John. Ask John if I can name the new boat, the SS Deaton.
XRP Speedboat. I like that, man. I like that a lot.
I'm sure you can. The question is, when you christen the boat, the SS Deaton, will John come to the big event? That should be.
Will he personally christen it with the
Well,
champagne bottle?
That's right.
Depends if there's going to be a ride somewhere. I think, just set sail because, you're out there on the back deck smoking some stogies, having a little bit of a nip there, I mean, it's just the ocean breeze, man. And you're setting sail on the SS Deaton. My gosh, what could be better than that? What could be better than that? It's just fantastic.
Hey, Bullish is saying Gensler was always the Trojan. Looking in from the outside, it's almost believable. This was all planned out several years ago to protect U.S. central banks and Wall Street corruption.
Interesting. So Sam Alex put this out, Jeff. Let's listen to this. This is a video he floated out on, and he answered it to something else. I mean, no, sometimes you get on a rabbit hole you don't know, but listen to this.
much money is pre-funded and how long does it typically sit there?
There's $27 trillion sitting in these bank-to-bank accounts. They're called Nostro accounts, Vostro accounts.
Yeah.
It really is a problem that if we can reduce the time, the friction, the cost, we really can accelerate global commerce. And by reducing that friction, you accelerate that engine. It's good across the board. It's good for both companies in the United States. It's good for the unbanked communities across Africa. It really can fundamentally change the way the global financial infrastructure is sitting in these banks. $27 trillion.
$27 trillion, Jeff.
Let that sink in, Chip.
I have. It's like incredible. It's amazing.
27
fantastic.
trillion.
So that was another one I want to give some.
We just need 1% of that.
And again, this is why I love this community is people find this stuff. I mean, we talk about it, but this is Sam Alex at Sam X Ether Real. So
Jim D brings up an interesting point. 27 trillion in Nostro accounts, which equals the national debt. Let's think about that. Think about it,
Jeff.
Think about that,
man. That's some.
So the banks are holding just in their foreign accounts, just sitting there waiting for cross-border transactions to occur. They're holding $27 trillion just sitting there. Imagine if you could pull all that back in. That could be interesting. Get some ODL liquidity.
ODL liquidity. So again, you just look at, well, who is Ripple as a company? What are their, who are their people that work for them? Well, check this out. So Ripple's back at the table. Again, they've had former members on this, but here's Craig DeWitt, known as the Crypto Cowboy, proud to share I've been selected as vice chair on the U.S. Faster Payments Council for cross-border payments, investigating CBDCs and the best-in-class technologies to make them possible. Some big industry players, including Ripple, involved. More to come. And of course, he's not the only one that's said on this before. I think Ashish Burla was on there. There's somebody on there. Don't quote me on that. But again, Kumaran says, could someone let Gare Bear know that the adults are really busy? I just love that. And of course, Orca Blue says the Slower Payments Council, of which members comprise of people like Gare Bear, the Lizard King, Congressman Karen. What's weird, Jeff, is we know who each one of them is, right? We know Gare Bear, Gary Gensler, Lizard King. That's obviously Jay Clayton, and Congressman Karen. That's Warren. We'll be issuing a statement soon about how fast payments are a fad, but they need to be protected anyway. Stay tuned. I love that. I just love this community, man.
Fast payments are a fad. I like that. That is good.
Kumaran says, I cannot wait. Of course, James Phelan jumps in with a big congrats. And then Craig says, hey, it's only official when Jimmy Phelan tweets about it. Great news. And then some people are a little just perturbed. Daniela Bartola says she just totally, she doesn't know what's going on. And then, of course, my pal Cloud DB from Down Under is like, is this a government body? It's nothing really, Cloud. Jean Cloud. So then Dilip Rao. Yeah, was Dilip on there? Dilip Rao, was he the one that sat on there? I know he was a former Rippler, but my God.
Might have been.
Wow, he really looks different. Man, putting the beard and stuff.
Man, that picture was just like, or that's a new picture?
Yeah,
so
how's retirement going?
Like a year ago.
Very busy, doing very little, but I missed the cool crypto crowd. Awesome. We miss you also. And then Crypto Wolf says, congrats, Craig. Faster Payments Council is in good hands. Employees seem to be expanding everywhere. Panos, you choose the XRPL. Problem solved, baby. So they just go on, and there's our James Rule putting the big old eyes there because, like, whoa. And then, oh boy, that's your average Joe is like, whoa, hey now. Whoa.
Man, lots of cool stuff. Mike is saying, Chip, it's not 27 trillion, it's 38 trillion. Brad said it when he said over 400 top banks are holding it. And they're
thank you for that, Mike. Appreciate that. See, this is why the smartest people in the community.
So I'm looking through here. Mo Fung is saying the national debt of Venezuela is 150 billion. It's a lot of stuff going on, Chip. So
let's raise a DAO to purchase Venezuela, Jeff. Can we do that? We need to create a DAO.
We probably could.
We had Constitution DAO. Let's create Venezuela DAO, and we'll just like buy the country and restore it to its freedoms and let the people thrive and flourish again.
Yeah, those shows with the rusty cars when they
Yeah, the institute
make
XRP
them.
is the national currency instead of like Bitcoin.
Yeah,
they'll
we'll
be
do that with
competing
Venezuela.
I
Get
like
rid
it.
of the old
Compete
government.
with El Salvador.
Gonna make a completely decentralized form of government. Rewrite their constitution. That would be perfect. And then we own it. So imagine the Dow owns a country. That'd be pretty sweet. So Chip, check this out. You know how, Daddy G is really worried about whether or not you're eating your broccoli for dinner. So while he's so concerned about your dietary habits and whatnot, Paraguay is actually doing things like passing Bitcoin legislation. And it's interesting because I'm going to pull this article up here in a minute, but the Paraguayan Congressman Carlito Rejala was saying, with this, we want to welcome the innovation of cryptocurrencies in Paraguay to the world. Rejala told Bitcoin Magazine at the time, this is the result of a very strong and arduous teamwork of many experts in the field, both local and foreign. And I think about this, and at one point, you and I had covered something, similar, and we looked at this and talked about how the U.S., with the SEC and the Congress here, they're not looking at experts outside of the U.S. It seems like, anyways, we don't see a lot of that conversation, and they seem to be tripping over themselves. But this is really interesting. So this bill, doesn't make it legal yet, but does move it to the Chamber of Deputies in 22. And we'd have to have a whole different conversation about their form of government to figure out what the heck the Chambers of Deputies is. However, the Senate did pass this bill. And so they put this through this, and there's a lot going on. So while El Salvador's final bill was just a few pages of text representing easily the most favorable accommodating Bitcoin legalese, accommodating Bitcoin legalese ever passed, the early draft of Paraguay's legislation set a different tone. Bitcoin reported in August, highlighting how Paraguay chose to stand in stark contrast to the Central American countries' friendlier legislation. But so there's obviously a lot of discussion that's been going on over there. They're trying to figure things out. Here, according to the bill, Bitcoin miners could enjoy thousands of megawatts that Paraguay currently has as surplus. Chip, that sounds very similar to some of the things that you've said about the power, that if you stop using the power, then what happens to it? And there's a lot of surplus. It's not like we're consuming too much. So if it comes under the country's regulations, the text noted that the industry would be jointly regulated by Paraguay's Industry and Commerce Secretariat, National Securities Commission, Anti-Money Laundering Office, and National Electricity Administration. What's that?
Kill the ads that are running there. There you go. Yeah, much better, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I can't.
Yeah, it's like we're not advertising for those people.
Wow. Target.
That's really interesting, man.
Yeah. But you think about this, you get into it, and it's really amazing, that Paraguay is actually doing something positive. I mean, here you go. Here's another one. And then you get this guy here sitting in his closet, or in his room somewhere.
No one knows
that's
where
his
that's
office, his house. Maybe it's someone else's house. Maybe he just puts those pictures up on the mantle. We don't know. We have no idea, but he's always facing, and there's always another chair that's also facing towards his computer, just in case he wants someone else to sit next to him while he's looking at his computer.
And it's a square room, right? It's a square room. So one of the things you notice is he's got that angled, so you see that he's created that. It's a 45-degree angle on there. Let's just listen to this. This is Stefan Huber put this out. Let's listen to this here.
I think it's kind of just like reasonably clear.
It's kind of low again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many of them are
I
low.
would say very
What in the world?
3/4 of this space
There we go.
has already been determined by the Securities and Exchange Commission not to be a security. Most of them securities. There needs to be clarity in the market. I think there's actually a fair amount of clarity. We're going to use our enforcement authorities as 3/4 of this space has already been determined by the Securities and Exchange Commission not to be a security. Most of them securities. There needs to be clarity in the market. I think there's actually a fair amount of clarity. We're going to use our enforcement authorities as
3/4 of this space has already been determined by the Securities and Exchange Commission not to be a security.
most of them securities. There needs to be clarity in the market.
It's a lot of the same stuff, but you just get the hypocrisy of the whole thing, Jeff. And again, Stefan Huber doing great stuff as well.
Then you gotta throw in Jay Clayton in there, and that says, we discussed it, or we've already whatever. I forget how he said it.
Now look at this,
whatever
Jeff.
he said. Got to throw Jay Clayton into the mix.
Jay Clayton as well. But look at this one here. I wanted to share this one because this is good. So BitBoy Ben Armstrong, he says, much love to the XRP army. We know how this will go for Ripple, and I'm proud to be leading the charge with all of you. So, of course, Jeff, I'm a man of like a few words, but I had to chime in on this, and I had to say, well, hey, maybe before self-anointing yourself the leader of the XRP army, you can invest 15 minutes and learn about Ripple and XRP first, because he seems to be completely clueless, even though he has inside minions. Always like, I've got an insider at Ripple, and they're telling me this. Wait, they're telling BitBoy this? I mean, come on, really? So, anywho, Jeff, what are you gonna do?
Darren's saying that sometimes his daughter sits there. It's kind of weird.
She has on occasion. Yeah, she has, Jeff. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, you think anything wrong with it?
Weird.
Yeah, and I also wanted to throw this up too, Jeff, because it is getting to be that time, but you guys can go over and check out onthechain.io. I will drop it in there. And a lot of people have asked us, how do we support On the Chain? What do we do to support On the Chain? And so Jeff and I looked hard at it. We didn't want to do a Patreon. Patreon takes anywhere from 8 to 12%. Obviously here on this platform that most of you are watching, not all of you, but some of you are watching, takes 30%. So look at that. And then put it in perspective. This one is a lot less. And it's pretty simple. You can basically go to the subscribe right here, and you can choose a subscription. So you can either do 10 per month, or you can do $90 a year. That's a 25% discount. Gives you access to all the articles we cover. We'll do a quarterly meetup where you'll be invited to that and just hang with us. We'll talk shop, and you also get a 20% on the chain discount. And that's simple. You can either go right there, or you can click this little button in the corner that says subscribe, and there it is right there. You just go ahead and choose it. And this is one of the ways you can help us. But if you say like, hey man, I just want to just be part of the family, then you can scroll down here and go right there and join the OTC family. And again, all of our content is always free. However, there's a little special perk, like as far as the meetups are concerned, especially when it comes to asking questions with John Deaton. We've invited some of our, of all of the crew that's a paying supporter to come in and ask a question of John Deaton. Now, it doesn't mean everybody wants to, but again, there'll be other perks along the way but as always, we always appreciate everything everybody does. But again, we just thought hard about what we wanted to do. And of course, there's always buy us a coffee. There's a super chat, which you guys have been phenomenal with, and appreciated all that as well. It's just one more thing and one more way to support On the Chain. And again, we definitely appreciate all of our paid OTC members. So there you go. And now, Jeff, please let us know, everybody know when we stream here.
We stream once a week, Chip.
Yeah, once a week. We used to, by the way. Jeff, by the way, it was actually the case that dropped last year where we started streaming on a daily, just covering the case, and that's how it led to the 6 days a week.
That is true. And so 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday. So we stream once a day on Sunday, once a day on Monday, once a day on Tuesday. So we do stream 6 days a week. If you're brand new here, check that out, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're here with us tonight, so you know when we're on Sundays. Then every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love to see everybody popping in here. Ani, thank you, Chip, Jeff, Chip, and the OTC crew. Appreciate you guys. Good night, everyone. You guys are outstanding and awesome. And as always, if you see that big red subscribe button, hit the bell notifier, hit the thumbs up, and check us out tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then again on Tuesday with Vagabond, and on Wednesday with John Deaton. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one, and we're way over time, Chip.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.